So welcome back for another fun science unit. This week we are going to be talking about all things ladybug. Now you guys know that I did get some ladybug larvae in, and last video Lucas and I actually showed you guys that we were taking the larvae that, remember, were in that tube crawling around on that green paper. We actually put the larvae into ladybug land, and I told you guys that they were going to start the process of turning into ladybugs. They were going to form shells called pupas, and while they were in those pupas, their bodies were going to be changing. They were going to be going through a metamorphosis, and then when they emerged, we were going to have ladybugs. Well, this week we're going to be discussing everything that we possibly can about ladybugs. We're going to be talking about their life cycle. We're going to be talking about what they look like, what they do, what they eat. We're going to be doing ladybug themed science experiments. We're going to be doing art projects and games and songs and all things to get us really excited, really pumped about learning about ladybugs. We're going to check in on our larvae, we're going to read stories, and we're just going to have a lot of fun. And I want you guys to constantly, when you're outside, especially on beautiful days, look for ladybugs, because now that it's starting to get warmer, we're going to start seeing a lot more bugs around. So see if you can find any ladybugs, and if you can, try and catch one and really study it, really look at it. And you can see the spots, you can see the color. Now, most ladybugs that you do see will be red with black spots, but there are some ladybugs that are different colors. And if you happen to find one of those, oh my goodness, you're going to be super, super lucky. So keep your eyes peeled for ladybugs. So I want to do a ladybug check-in, and then I have a story I would like to read you about ladybugs to give us a little background information. Because when I show you guys these bugs, I know you've seen them before, but I want to make sure you really understand what a ladybug is, what it does, what kind of insect it is, and just, so that when someone asks you a question, you can be like, I know that, and you guys can teach other people about ladybugs. And that's the great thing about learning, is you keep taking in information so that you can keep passing it on to more people. So we're going to check in on our ladybug land. Now, before we do, I have to tell you guys a story. So some of you were at Miss Karen's Zoom lesson on Friday. Well, I told everybody, I gave everyone a little preview of my crazy thing that happened with my ladybug larva. So you guys saw in the video that Lucas and I put the larva into the ladybug land, which is actually right here. And when we get to checking in, I'll lower the camera so you guys can see. So I put the larva in and I closed the container, and I actually put tape around it because the one thing about my ladybug land is it doesn't really close together, so it can open very easily. Well, I thought I taped it very good. Well, guess what? I went into my kitchen a few days later to make some lunch, and I saw a larva crawling on my counter. And I, at first, didn't know what it was, and I picked it up, and I was like, oh, this is my ladybug larva. And then I looked, and there were 3 more on my counter. Somehow, the ladybug larva escaped from ladybug land, and they were crawling on my counter. Now, I do not really love bugs and insects. I do like ladybugs, but I kind of draw the line there. I like butterflies. I like fireflies or lightning bugs. But other than that, I am not a bug person. And I had larvae crawling on my counter. So I caught the ones that were on my counter and I put them back into ladybug land. But then I took another look at ladybug land. Some are missing. There were definitely a lot more larvae than there are pupas right now. The pupas are those shells that they formed. So there's a good chance that in about 2 weeks, I'm going to find some more ladybugs in my kitchen. So if I do, I will keep you guys informed and let you know. Thank goodness it's just ladybugs and not something like creepy crawly. But end of the crazy story. So the pupa, the larvae that are still here, they did form their pupas. They did form those shells around their bodies. And while they're in there right now, their bodies are starting to change. They're starting to go through a metamorphosis. Can you guys say that word? Metamorphosis. And a metamorphosis is a change. Everything, your body changes as you keep getting older and older. Same thing happens with the larvae. Their bodies are going to change as they turn into ladybugs. So I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit. and you guys can take a really good look. And the larvae are actually, when they were in here, they were all crawling around, and they were all trying to figure out their new home. They were trying to get an idea of exactly, you know, what they had to do. Well, now they did form their pupas, and I'm going to see if I can get nice and close. There we go. Most of them like to form their pupas on the wall of Ladybug Land. There's 2 here. There's 1 right there. And there's more down there. And 1 actually did form it. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's actually in the volcano. And other than that, I think most of them escaped, which is terrifying. But at least, like I said, it's just ladybugs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9. We'll go with 9, maybe 10. But there were definitely more. So right now they are in these shells. They're going to stay in there for about another week and a half. And then we're going to start seeing those shells open up, and out is going to come a adult ladybug. Now, if we happen to catch it, if I happen to catch it in the first 24 hours when they are young ladybugs, those are ladybugs without spots, I will take a video or a picture and I will send it to you guys. But most likely what we are going to see is the adult ladybug, the red one with the black spots. But, you know, we'll see what happens. So these are our ladybugs. We'll check in another couple of days. I'm sure there's still going to be, let me see that, yeah. They're still going to be in those pupa shells. And right now, basically, they're just in there, and they're kind of almost like they're sleeping. You know, their bodies are just changing. They're doing what they have to do to move on to the next stage of their lives. So before I let you guys go, I do have a story I want to read. It is called The Ladybug, and this is the ladybug that we all know, that red ladybug with the black spots. And let's just get a little information, and then we'll see where we go from there. So this is a ladybug beetle. We usually call it a ladybug. The ladybug is an insect. So if people say, what kind of bug is a ladybug? You guys can say a ladybug is an insect. It's a beetle. Ladybugs are often red with black spots. Like all insects, the ladybug has 6 legs. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The common ladybug has 7 spots. Now, there are some people who believe that a ladybug's spots tell you how old the ladybug is. Unfortunately, that's not true. Most of them have 7 spots. Some might have more, some might have less, but it's just kind of, you know, one of those things. There are many kinds of ladybugs, and they come in many different colors. Now, these are not as easy to find, but you can see some ladybugs do have different colors and different spots, which is pretty cool. But the common ladybug that we see is that red one with the black spots. The ladybug has 2 pairs of wings. Ooh, that's cool. They have hard red outer wings that protect the transparent wings the ladybug flies with. So, we'll turn it like this. The ladybug has 2 sets of wings. One is this red wing, and that's a harder shell. They protect these wings, which are transparent, which means you can see through them. And these are the wings that flutter or flap in order for it to fly. But these ones are what keep it nice and safe so that nothing damages the wings. Because if the wings get damaged, the ladybug can't fly. So if you do find ladybugs, be very careful when you pick them up. Kind of put your finger out, and sometimes they'll just crawl onto your finger. Don't like grab them like with a pincer grab, because you'll smush the poor thing. Like all insects, the ladybug has 3 body parts. The legs and the wings are attached to the middle part. So it has 3 different body parts. With its little claws and jaws, the ladybug captures aphids, its favorite food. Now, aphids are really little tiny bugs that you find on different leaves and different vegetables. And aphids actually damage the leaves and the vegetables that it's on. So the ladybug actually helps by getting rid of the aphids. One ladybug can eat as many as 50 aphids in one day. That's crazy. That's a lot. Do you imagine eating 50 bugs? Eeh. Near the ladybug's eyes are two antennae or feelers. The ladybug uses these to sniff out the insects that it likes to eat. So when a ladybug smells something really good, it uses its antennas to kind of sniff it out and will get whatever it is looking for, like the aphid, to eat. All right, so a mommy ladybug lays eggs on a leaf. So ladybugs are oviparous. Remember, Miss Karen was teaching you guys about that. The things that lay eggs, they're oviparous. They come from eggs. So she finds a leaf with many aphids on which to lay her sticky yellow eggs. So look at that. So the eggs lay there, and they start out as a yellow color. And then remember, we talked about this, they start to turn white when they're ready to hatch. When they hatch, tiny black larvae emerge. They don't look at all like ladybugs. The larvae feed on the aphids, and that's why the mommy ladybug chooses a leaf that has a lot of aphids. She's preparing for her babies. She's preparing for them to eat all of those aphids, because usually the mommy ladybug won't be there when the larvae hatch. A young larva eats and eats and eats, and as it grows, it sheds its too tight skin. When it is time to change into a ladybug, the larva attaches itself to a leaf. Its old skin splits off one more time, and now the larva is called what's the shell? Pupa. The skin becomes a hard, dry shell, and inside this shell, a ladybug is forming. So look at that. So it basically hangs in that shell with its body changing and doing everything that it knows it needs to do in order to become a ladybug. About a week later, the ladybug pushes out of its shell. Its body is soft and yellow and damp. Soon its outer wings become dry and hard and turn red with black spots. Some birds think the brightly colored ladybug looks really good to eat. They soon find out that they are very wrong. When a bird attacks, some ladybugs turn over, become very still, and excrete a bad-smelling liquid from their legs. So that is their defense mechanism. The way they protect themselves is that a ladybug will turn over and will produce this liquid that smells really bad and actually makes them taste bad. So if the bird was to actually take a nip to actually eat the ladybug, it would probably spit it back out because it tasted so bad. Many ladybugs hibernate during the cold winter months. They find a warm, safe place in the hollow of a tree or under a pile of leaves. They nestle together and sleep until the cold weather is over. Then when spring arrives, they come out to look for a family. So ladybugs are like bears. They hibernate. That's why in winter, when there's all that snow outside, do you see ladybugs crawling in the snow? No. You see ladybugs in the spring and in the summer. They only like to be out when it's warm. I think I would like to be a ladybug because I don't like the cold either. I would definitely pick spring and summer over winter. Look at that. So these are some other kind of beetles. This is the beetle family, which is the ladybug is from. And this is called a scarab beetle. This is a longhorned beetle. This is a ground beetle. And this one is a grasshopper. And there's some different ants on top. Just to give you a little bit more background. Remember, all insects have 6 legs and 3 body parts. It's the part you have to remember. So, ladybugs are beetles. Ladybugs are insects. They have 6 legs. The most common ladybug is red with black spots. They love to eat aphids. They taste and smell bad when they're afraid. That's how they protect themselves. And a mommy ladybug lays eggs. Those eggs hatch. Out pops larvae. Those larvae eat and grow and eat and grow. And then when they're done growing, they form a pupa around their bodies. They hang in those pupas while their bodies change, and out pops a ladybug. And the cycle continues. They go to sleep during the winter. They come back out during the spring. More ladybugs appear. So we this week are going to be doing a lot more things ladybug themed. And if you guys, like I said, if you find any ladybugs, it's a great time to be scientists and do some research of your own, a study of your own. Just be very careful if you do find those ladybugs. We do not want to hurt them. We do not want to make them afraid. You can catch them in a little cup, but make sure you let them go because they do need air. They do need those aphids. They need to survive. So we'll be back for some more great activities. As always, any questions, anything you guys need, please let me know, and I am here for you. I can make materials available at the school. I can answer questions. I can just talk to your kids. Anything you guys need. All right, so I'm signing off, and I will be back for some more fun activities, and I hope you're just as excited as I am. All right, we will see you soon. Goodbye.